Hello everyone, welcome back to Cycling Secrets. This week we're looking at crashing. Now obviously in a perfect world this won't ever happen, but realistically the longer you ride a bike the more chance there is you'll come off at some point. So let's look at lowering the risk and the damage. First we'll look at how to minimize risk and avoid crashing in both group riding and cornering, the most common places for a crash, and then how to minimize damage if you do go down. Some basics first. You can't predict everything, but there are some things you can be aware of. So if you're riding in a group, you need to be constantly aware of what's going on, not only within the group but also up ahead. Watch for signs from your fellow riders, and also keep a good self-awareness of the road and traffic conditions ahead. We've said it before, but this is a big one. Don't overlap wheels with the rider in front. If they change their line suddenly and your front wheel hits their back wheel, it'll throw your steering out and you'll go down unless you have a very high level of skill. This will likely not affect them at all, but you can guarantee everyone behind you is going to crash into you and go down as well. And it will be your fault. So, pay attention. If you are in a group ride and you see any kind of loose riding, try and move up the group to avoid the potential hazard of an inexperienced rider. The final thing regarding group riding is the second crash syndrome. If there is a crash, an instinctual response from those ahead will be to look back. This lapse in attention can often result in a second crash in the lead group. So, if you hear something go down behind you, just keep going. This may seem heartless, but it is safer to pull out of the group completely and then check out the carnage behind. Another commonplace crash scenario is when cornering. We've covered some of this in other videos, and it all has relevance here. Look where you want to go. It is surprising how much control this will give you. Ignore it at your peril. Keep your weight over the wheels and so increase traction. Endeavour to only brake in a straight line, and so control your speed before the corner, not while in it. When braking, the weight moves forward, meaning the front wheel suddenly takes much more of a load on it. When in a corner, this extra load can mean a loss of traction, resulting in the wheel sliding out. Just a quick word on braking forces. The front brake has more stopping power. That said, there's other things to be aware of. Using the front brake unweights the rear wheel, which could result in it skidding, or in extreme cases, flipping the bike, so apply the back brakes also, and move your weight back. The back wheel will skid if either the back brakes have been applied too hard, in which case easing off on them will restore traction, or if the front brake is unweighting the back too much, in which case easing off the front brake should restore traction. In an emergency braking situation, you'll want to favour the front brake 60% to 40% on the back. It is a wise idea to play with this a little so you have a good sense of the results of overbraking with both the front and back brakes. If the conditions are wet, you'll be wise to lower your tyre pressure. This will give you more traction and can mean the difference between remaining safe or coming off. Also, avoid white lines. These become like ice when they're wet, so treat them with care and stay off them wherever possible. So now we'll look at minimizing damage. One of the best things to keep you from serious injury is your general training. Flexibility, balance, and a well-developed proprioception will not only give you more control on the bike, but will also allow you to react with more volition if you do go down. Making yoga, Pilates, or Feldenkrais part of your training can help hugely here. Flexibility and agility will allow you to roll, react more quickly, and give you the ability to make decisions about how you want the fall to go. We can't cover every possible crash situation here, but here are a couple of common ones. Going over the handlebars. This will happen if you hit an obstacle head-on or possibly brake too heavily. Generally, you want to keep your hands on the handlebars and tuck and roll. Easy to say, in reality it's often an instinctual response to throw out a hand, but this is not advisable. I've managed to roll a bike effectively when crashing and ended up with no impact wounds or bruises, just slashes, like I've been in a knife fight, which of course is much cooler than a broken wrist, arm or collarbone. Rolling will dissipate the energy and avoid a brute force impact on any single part of your body, which is why it is also a good strategy for going down on the low side. Falling this way will almost always be from loss of traction in a turn. Again, don't throw out a limb, it will just take all the impact. If you can turn your back toward the road, you may be able to spread the impact through a roll of sorts. We need to make it clear that there's no formula to crashing. Each one is different from the next, so the advice has to be very general. and that is tuck and roll wherever possible. Okay, we hope you never need to find out if this advice helps. Stay safe and do your best to avoid crashing in the first place. See you next time. Remember to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and leave a comment or question below, and visit cyclingsecrets.com for more advice and training DVDs. See you next time. Bye.